From its beginnings as a tobacco importer to a $500 million buyout, Topps has had a very interesting history. Let's learn all about it after the intro. I understand that some of you might not want to learn the history and just see the cards. If that's what you're here for, this is the time to skip to. You're welcome. Still here? Morris Shorin incorporated American Leaf Tobacco in 1908. An importer of Turkish tobacco, the company experienced supply issues arising from World War I and again as the Great Depression set in. Morris's sons, Abram, Ira, Philip, and Joseph, decided to retool the business and focus on a new product while maintaining the company's existing distribution network. The brothers rebranded as Topps in 1938 and manufactured chewing gum. At the time, chewing gum was still seen as a novelty and sold in individual pieces. Topps' early success came with a product called Bazooka bubblegum. The pieces were packaged with small comic strips on the wrapper. In an attempt to increase sales, Topps began packaging their gum with trading cards. The first cards Topps paired with gum was a Hopalong Cassidy set in 1950. At the time, Hopalong Cassidy, played by William Boyd, was one of the biggest stars of early television. The following year, Topps produced its first baseball cards. The 1951 Topps Redbacks and Bluebacks not only featured a portrait of a player, but were used in a card game to simulate the action of an actual baseball game. These cards were small, 2 inches by 2 5/8 inches, with a blank red or blue back and rounded corners. Topps changed the design, shape, and size of their next set. Cy Berger, the father of the modern baseball card, and Woody Gelman sat at a kitchen table in an apartment in Brooklyn, New York. The design they drew up would become the basic layout for sports cards for decades to come, a template that is still in use today. The size of the card grew to 2 5/8 inches by 3 3/4 inches, which is larger than today's cards. Topps squared off the corners for the 1952 set and added statistics and biographical information on the reverse side. On the front, the player photo was accompanied by the player name and facsimile autograph and team logo. In the early days of baseball card manufacturing, companies would sign players to contracts on an individual basis. Rival baseball card company Bowman had already made aggressive moves against its competition by signing players to exclusive contracts. The language in the contracts focused on the rights to sell cards with gum. To avoid conflict, Topps sold its 1951 cards with caramel candy instead of gum. But as player contracts for Bowman expired, Topps signed them with rights to use gum in packs of cards starting in 1952. This led to a contract war and eventual lawsuit filed by Bowman, accusing Topps of trademark infringement, unfair competition, and contractual interference. Though most of Bowman's complaints were struck down, the contractual litigation forced Topps to have missing cards in some sets, where card numbers skip, as a few of these were assigned to players whose cards could not legally be distributed. Ultimately, Topps bought out Bowman in 1956. In 1957, Topps resized their cards to the current size of 2 1/2 inches by 3 1/2 inches. Topps also started using color photographs in the sets and put the player's full year-by-year statistics for that player's entire career on the back. Complete career statistics became permanent in 1963, except for 1971 when Topps attempted to put a player photo on the back of the card. 1971 was also the first year Topps used color photographs from actual games on the cards. While Topps cards had always been in color, early cards used artist portraits of players, and photographs were portrait or posed shots. The 1972 set had special in-action cards, and future sets included game photography mixed with posed shots. It was also in this time period that a new rival, Fleer, attempted to break Topps' hold of the baseball card market. Fleer attempted its own set in 1963, which failed, and then tried to pry away exclusivity from Topps in an FTC complaint in 1965, which also failed. Eventually, Fleer surrendered its remaining player contracts to Topps in 1966, and this decision gave the baseball card market to Topps and Topps alone. But just a decade later, Fleer would try to break the Topps monopoly once again. This time, Fleer would file a federal lawsuit in 1975, and in a decision by Judge Clarence Charles Newcomer in 1980, Fleer was finally able to produce a competing baseball card set. An appellate court refined the ruling, limiting competitors to other low-cost items besides gum. Fleer used team logo stickers, and third rival Donruss used puzzle pieces to sell with their cards. Even with new competition, Topps would rely on its 30 years of design and printing experience to produce unique and colorful high-quality sets through the 1980s. So let's take a look at those Topps card designs, starting with 1981. Before we start ripping into these cello packs and talking about these Topps cards from the 1980s, I'd like you to take a moment and click that like button and consider subscribing. I release content like this on a semi-regular basis, but I do open up at least 2 packs of junk wax era cards every single day. So if that's what you're into, this is the channel for you, and you should definitely consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Now let's go ahead and rip open these packs. Going into the 1981 production year, Topps had the design and quality advantage over its new competitors. A large photo set on a team color background complements the prominent team baseball cap graphic on the lower left of the card. The player position and team name appear in block letters on the hat, while the player name appears in the color border on the lower right. Star rookies include Kirk Gibson, Harold Baines, and Fernando Valenzuela. Second year of Ricky Henderson and third year of Ozzie Smith and perennial stars Nolan Ryan, Pete Rose, and Reggie Jackson are among the gems of this set. 30 years of experience really shows in this instantly recognizable classic design. So let's go ahead and rip open the 1981 Topps Cello pack. 49 cents back in the day, 28 cards and a stick of bubble gum. You can see the bubble gum right in there. We've got our Cincinnati Reds future stars on the front here. Names obscured on the back, but we'll find out in a second. Let's get rid of the wrapper. Let that gum fall. There we go. A big chunk of gum back then. Yep, we're right side up, so here we go. Cincinnati Reds future stars. Rick Waits. Ken Kravick. Oh, we got home run leaders. There's Reggie Jackson and Mike Schmidt. Ben Ogilvy there in the middle. That's a nice card. Put that one up on the stand. Mike Lacoste. Got Dave Lemenchik. Astros future stars. Ed Helicki. Tommy John. He had surgery. Got Dick Davis, Bob Ochinko, Mike Hargrove, Marvis Foley. 1980 AL champions, Royals sweep the Yankees. That's a cool looking card. That's George Brett there. We got Jerry Turner, Dave Lopes, Jose Cardinal, Enrique Romo, Rick Bassetti. Well, he's got dings in the corners. I'm not going to pull anything grade-worthy, but this is still cool. These are cool cards. Silvio Martinez, Darrell Jackson, Duffy Dyer, Woody Fryman, Steve Trout, Barry Evans, Joe Price, Bombo Rivera, and we're going to end with Milt May. And there's the backs of the cards. That is the 1981 Topps set. The 1982 design at first glance may appear plain or simple. A couple of lines at the left edge of the card swoop towards the bottom, toward a color-matched player and team name. Topps also displays their new logo at the bottom right of the photo and includes a facsimile autograph across the bottom. Two high-value rookies can be found in the set: the Baltimore Orioles Future Stars card, which includes the Cal Ripken Jr., and Chicago Cubs rookie and eventual Hall of Famer Lee Smith. Valuable cards include Nolan Ryan, Ozzie Smith, Ricky Henderson, Pete Rose, and George Brett. So let us open up this 1982 Topps Cello pack with Joaquin Andújar on the front. There's some cracked gum in there. We have a longtime player on the back in Phil Niekro. We got that going for us. With all that gum. Oh, and we do get a sticker. Pat Putnam. All right. Joaquin Andújar to start. Don Oss. We have 1981 victory leaders. There's Tom Seaver, Jack Morris, Denny Martinez. That's not a bad card. A lot of talent on there. Bob Baylor, Scott Sanderson, Pat Underwood. Here's the in-action card of Amos Otis. 1981 RBI leaders, Mike Schmidt and Eddie Murray. That's a cool-looking card. John Curtis, pitcher for the Padres, John Mayberry. Ray Searage, Marty Bystrom, Lee Lacy, Elias Sosa, Willie Stargell in action. Great hitter for the Pirates for a long time. Jim Kern, Jack Morris, All-Star. Excellent card there. Steve Renko, Len Cicada, Amos Otis, his standard issue card. Mike Squires, Brian Downing, Alvin Woods, Pat Kelly, Frank Tavares. We got Rick Wise. Hey, we got a George Brett All-Star. That's a nice card. Got a little staining right there. Doesn't look too badly off center either. A couple of good All-Stars in that pack. And then we end with Phil Niekro. That wasn't too bad of a pack. 1982 Topps. The 1983 Topps design is reminiscent of a Topps set produced 20 years earlier. The main photo is an action shot of the player, while the profile photo appears in a circle at the bottom. The profile photo can appear either on the right or left of the card, depending on the action in the upper photo. Player name, position, and team are listed on the bottom opposite the profile picture. There are 3 big rookies in the set, including Wade Boggs, Ryne Sandberg, and Tony Gwynn. Obvious stars Nolan Ryan, Ricky Henderson, George Brett, and Cal Ripken hold substantial value. But interestingly, though, Whitey Herzog, the Cardinals manager, and Orioles manager Earl Weaver cards can command between $100 and $200 each in a PSA 10 condition. Let's hope we can pull some of those in this 1983 Topps Cello pack. We're up to 49 cents now, 28 cards. We got Manny Trio on the back. There's our gum and sticker in the middle. Dave Rucker on the front. Let's get all the other stuff out and not ruin the surprise there. All right, we can turn those around. Dave Rucker. Tom Seaver, horribly off-center. Super veteran, though. We'll put him up still. We got Dan Quisenberry, All-Star. Randy Johnson, but not the right one. We got Jim Rice and Bob Stanley, Red Sox leaders. This, wow, is really poorly cut. Kent Tekulve. Too cool, man. We got another card on this card. We've got Tony Perez. Hey, there's the Wade Boggs rookie. Oh, nice. That's cool. We'll definitely put them up. We got Joe Niekro and Ray Knight, Houston Astros leaders. We got Rick Sweet. Kurt Bevacqua. Hey, Jim Palmer. This one's also poorly cut. I used to collect Jim Palmer cards when I was younger. Here's a Robin Yount All-Star. This is a loaded pack. Nice. We got Bob Baylor, Sammy Stewart, Dave LaRoche. Hey, there's Jim Palmer. Nice. Gary Templeton. Bill Gullickson, Dave Kingman, Rod Carew. Wow, this is a banger of a pack. Johnny LeMaster, Ricky Henderson. Oh, wow, this is Randy Moffat, Tim Laudner, Dale Murphy, too. Holy cow. Lee Lacey and Manny Trio. About half of that pack was just star after star after star. I like the Ricky. The Ricky looks really good. All right, that's 1983 Topps. With a similar look, where the 1983 design tried, the 1984 design succeeded. Again, Topps made the main photo an action shot with the profile picture, this time framed in a square and fixed to the bottom left. Team name in block lettering is printed vertically on the left edge. Player info is displayed on the bottom right. Between the team name and background of the headshot, Topps made a very colorful and interesting set. The two Chase rookies are Darryl Strawberry of the Mets and Don Mattingly of the Yankees, and the usual stars include second-year cards of Tony Gwynn, Ryan Sandberg, and Wade Boggs, as well as Pete Rose, Nolan Ryan, Cal Ripken, and Ozzie Smith. So let's see if we can find any of those cards in our 1984 Topps Cello pack. Still at 49 cents, 28 cards. There's gum in the middle. Let's rip it open. And our top card, well, let's get the gum out of the middle. Our top card is everybody's favorite, Rusty Kuntz. We got Pete O'Brien, Rich Gale, Bruce Kyson, Byron McLaughlin. We have Padres leaders Dave Dravecky and Terry Kennedy. I see a Yankee right behind here. Could it be the Mattingly? No, Matt Keough. Louis Pujols, Richard Dotson, Cesar Geronimo, Mike O'Berry, Tom Foley, manager Sparky Anderson. He was old back then. Jim Clancy. I think he managed for another decade after that. Terry Kennedy, Tom Bernansky, Frank Viola. Is this his rookie? No, 83, I believe was. Second year, though. UL Washington, Jose Morales, Bob Jernier, Dale Berra, Phil Garner, George Bell. Not a big star, but he made an impact. Donnie Moore, Dickie Thon, Larry Parrish, the Goose, Rich Gossage. We're going to end with Bruce Benedict. And that is 1984 Topps. Topps simplified and decluttered its 1985 design. Team name was placed in block lettering in an angled box with player name and position in the lower right. Topps also included the team logo for the first time since the 1965 set. Aside from the standard roster of players, Topps included a subset of USA baseball team cards to commemorate the silver medal in the 1984 Olympics. The obvious star among those was Mark McGwire, but teammates Barry Larkin and Will Clark were left out. The rookie class includes Kirby Puckett, Dwight Gooden, Eric Davis, and Roger Clemens. High-value stars are Nolan Ryan, Don Mattingly, Pete Rose, Tom Seaver, and George Brett. So let's try and pull some of those cards out of our cello pack of 1985 Topps. We are up to 59 cents for 28 cards and a stick of bubblegum. We've got greenbacks, a longtime player here on the back, Johnny Wackenfuss. We'll get our game card out of the way and our gum. Pull that out. All right. Starting off with Gary Woods, Brian Clark, R.J. Reynolds. There's the Team USA card of Bob Caffrey, Lee Mazzilli, Dave Meyer, John Tudor, Chris Cadaroli, Dick Ruthven, Carlton Fisk, record breaker, Hall of Fame catcher. Played for both Sox, red and white. Randy Lurch, Tom Niedenfuhrer, Dennis Rasmussen, Mario Ramirez. We have Jeff Jones. We have a USA card right behind here. We're looking for the McGwire. It's not McGwire. Corey Snyder. We've got Rick Manning, Johnny Grubb, Mike Davis, Pedro Guerrero, Paul Mirabella, Ken Oberkfell, Dale Murray, Andy Hawkins, Jeff Leonard, Chris Bando, Mike Norris, and we're going to end with Johnny Wackenfuss. He's had a long career, decade to that point. That is 1985 Topps. The 1986 design was another simple yet bold design choice, like a black and white version of Topps' 1975 design. The team name appears in large, bold letters at the top of the card, set on a black background. The background changes to white about a quarter of the way down, with player name along the bottom edge. High grades are difficult due to the dark border. Rookie cards include Cecil Fielder and Len Dykstra. Due to the condition-sensitive nature of this set, some higher value names may come as a surprise. Nolan Ryan, Tony Gwynn, Ryan Sandberg, Pete Rose, and Ricky Henderson are the logical stars with value, but valuable PSA 10s of late career cards include Gary Carter at about $200, Keith Hernandez at around $100, Rod Carew gets about $250, and Reggie Jackson can fetch about $350 in a PSA 10. Let's see if we can pull any of those cards in our 1986 Topps Cello pack, still at 59 cents, 28 picture cards, and a stick of bubble gum, and I'm sure there's some advertisement card in the middle as well. Let's rip in here and see what stars we can pull. There is the Gum and Spring Fever card. If I remember correctly, these are going to be reversed every card. Bruce Hurst, Daryl Skioners. How do you pronounce that? Leave a comment below. Ed Jurak, Reds leaders. Marty Barrett, Dick Hauser. Got Ron Gardenhire, Kent Tukulov. Sure I mispronounced that. Dave Johnson, manager of the Mets. Got Dodgers leaders. Ben Ogilvy. Eric Davis, That is one of the more valuable cards. It's really high up, though. We're supposed to see more black on top of the team name than that. But that's a good card. Brad Wellman, Ron Mathis, Julio Franco. He was a decent player for a while. We'll put him up. Bill Duran, Dick Williams, manager of the Padres, John Christensen, Jim Fry. A lot of managers in this pack. Manny Lee, Steve Garvey. We got Denny Walling, Tom Herr, Mark Bailey, Sid Fernandez. We've got a lot of Mets in this pack too. Luis De Leon, Dan Pasqua, and we're going to end with a really off-center Dave Anderson. That's 1986 Topps. Topps again looked to their past designs for inspiration in 1987. The wood grain background brings back memories of the 1962 design. Team logo is fixed in the upper left corner while player name is displayed on a team color plaque on the bottom right. The set is loaded with young stars and proven talent, but values are depressed due to the extreme overproduction, a trend that would continue for years to come, also known as the junk wax era. Rookies to hold on to include Bo Jackson, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, Will Clark, and Barry Bonds. Interestingly, all of these rookies have Topps cards in prior years, either in the 1986 Topps traded set or, in McGwire's case, the 1985 Olympic subset. Established star power includes Don Mattingly, Nolan Ryan, Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt, and George Brett. And let's see which of those stars we can pull. We're up to 69 cents now for 31 cards and a stick of bubblegum. I remember chasing the Bash Brothers in this year. Jose Canseco and Mark McGwire. Let's get rid of the gum and the advertisement cards. We're starting off with Tom Paciorek. Turn back the clock, Roberto Clemente. We have Royals leaders. Here's the backs. We have Eric Shaw. He gave up Pete Rose's record-breaking hit. Jeff Robinson, Darrell Porter, Mark Huisman, Rudy Law, Roger Craig, a darker background. Don't know what's going on there. We got Charlie Moore, Dave Kingman, John Morris, Bruce Hurst. That's a lighter background. Turn back the clock, Maury Wills. That's the 1962 cards I was referring to. Those also have a wood grain background. Cliff Johnson, Bruce Benedict, Greg Harris, Paul Zvella, Russ Morman, Dave Righetti, Mel Hall, Randy Myers, Junior Ortiz, Vita Blue, Lee Lacy, Ron Guidry. We're going to put them up because I want to put someone up from the 1987 set. Kurt Ford, Juan Espino, Ron Darling, Brett Saberhagen. He's stand-worthy. We're going to end with Mike Maddox, and that is the 1987 Topps. I used to think the 1988 Topps design was boring, lazy, and unimaginative. However, it has grown on me. Its beauty is in its simplicity. The team name in block lettering is shown across the top and layered behind the player in the photo. The player name is in an angled stripe clipping the bottom right corner. The rookie class is almost non-existent, with Tom Glavine being the only true rookie with any value, although you could consider Fred McGriff and Greg Maddux since their first cards were in the prior year's Topps traded set. Valuable stars include the regulars, Pete Rose, Nolan Ryan, Don Mattingly, Ricky Henderson, and Tony Gwynn. This set also includes a few notable errors or variation cards. On the Mark McGwire record breaker, look for a white triangle behind his left foot. And the Yankees' future star Al Leiter may actually be Steve George. Let's see if we can find maybe one of the errors in this 1988 Topps Cello pack. Still at 69 cents, but back down to 28 cards. We have this orange back to the card. Pull this open. There's our stick of gum, or half of it at least. There's the other half. And then we also have our glossy subset advertisement card. Starting off here with Richard Dotson, Mike Trillo, Julio Franco. We're going to put him up. Kurt Stillwell, Kent Gerhardt, Jim Gantner. Hey, we got a George Bell All-Star. Here's Ron Guidry, Larry Parrish, Dave Bergman, Lee Elia, Tony Fernandez, Jeff Reed, Mark Davis, Oddibe McDowell, Tom Lawless, Tommy Lasorda, sitting in the golf cart. I remember that card from when I was a kid. Dave Parker, Storm Davis, Scott Sanderson, Mookie Wilson, Alejandro Pena, Mike Marshall, Jay Baller. We got manager Tom Kelly of the Twins, another Alejandro Pena, another Mike Marshall, and here is Jose Uribe to end the pack, and that is 1988 Topps. The 1989 Topps set was the first baseball card set I collected as a kid, so any critique will be tainted with nostalgic bias. Team name is written in cursive on the lower right of the card, while the player name appears in block lettering on a ribbon below the team name. The rookie class is larger than I remember, including John Smoltz, Gary Sheffield, Greg Jeffries, Craig Biggio, and Randy Johnson. Star power holding above average value includes Don Mattingly, Nolan Ryan, Cal Ripken, Mike Schmidt, and Ryan Sandberg. 1989's biggest rookie, Ken Griffey Jr., wouldn't make an appearance until the traded set. Unfortunately, we can't grab him in this 1989 Cello pack, but maybe we can get a couple of the other rookies. We're up to 79 cents for the same size pack of 29 cards. And a stick of bubble gum. We're going to peel in here and get rid of that gum and see if we can maybe pull the big unit. Where is that gum? There it is. And the store card. Getting rid of that. Here we go. Brady Anderson leads things off. Don Zimmer, manager of the Cubs back then. Mariners leaders. We have our first checklist of the video. Joe Hesketh. Mickey Tettleton. We have an all-star of Kirk Gibson. Put up that one. Mike Jackson. Don Baylor. Sparky Anderson, see? He still looks the same as he did back in the other card we got, I think, what, 83, 84? Mike Witt, Mark Thurman. We got a Wade Boggs all-star. Getting a few all-stars in here. Dan Quisenberry. Got Mike Henneman. B.J. Surhoff. Cecil Fielder. That's a good card there. Jim Sundberg, Dwayne Ward, Bruce Sutter, Alan Trammell, all right. Andres Galarraga, all right, we'll put him down here. Gary Ward, Brett Saberhagen, okay. Bo Diaz, Ron Darling, Dave Cohn. Oh, there's the Craig Biggio rookie. That's a nice looking card too. We're going to end with Marvell Wynn, but who cares when you got the Biggio rookie? All right, that is 1989 Topps. As the junk wax era rolled on and more manufacturers joined the market, Topps began to diversify its product to meet the needs of collectors. Topps resurrected Bowman as a subsidiary in 1989 and introduced Stadium Club, a high-quality glossy set, in 1991. With every card maker engaging in the same strategy, the glut of baseball card sets pushed the Major League Baseball Players Association to limit its licensing to only Topps and Upper Deck in 2006, and players would not appear on cards until reaching the majors. In 2007, Topps was acquired by Michael Eisner's The Tornante Company and Madison Dearborn Partners. In 2012, Topps found success with its digital sports sales on the Topps Bunt mobile app, and it later expanded into other apps like Kick for soccer, Huddle for football, and Skate for hockey. A failed merger with Mudrick Capital saw Topps miss out on a $250 million investment. This may have caused Major League Baseball and the Players Association to award future exclusive licenses to Fanatics in August of 2021. And in January of 2022, Fanatics announced their acquisition of Topps for $500 million. Topps branded cards continue to be produced today. In fact, the 2025 Series 1 set was just released this past February. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've watched all the way to the end, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And comment your favorite Topps memory. I open 2 Junk Wax era packs every single day on this channel and occasionally release these types of long-form videos. I do hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care and keep collecting. Hey, it looks like we're all tied up and we're going to head to extra innings. If you watched this far, I wanted to show you a little something extra in appreciation for you sticking around. As I mentioned, in 1989, Bowman was a subsidiary of Topps. As you remember, Topps bought the Bowman Company way back. In here is the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie, possibly, although I want it to be in here. These cards are a little bit taller than the standard Topps cards. They're just as wide, but just a smidgen taller. So let's see if we can find that Ken Griffey Jr. rookie in here. All they have are the chicken scratch signatures, which is Ron Hassey, on the front to identify the player. I can't read most of them. But that's Jesse Barfield. Todd Stottlemyre, I believe. Yes. Pete Incaviglia. That's Corey Snyder. Robbie Thompson. Will Tejada. That's Buddy Bell. Rick Russell. Al Newman. I can't even see that, but that's Mike Moore. And there's Bob Welsh. Well, we didn't get the Griffey rookie. And let's run a little bit further along. 1990 Topps Cello pack, 89 cents this time, but we're back up to 31 cards. We're looking for the Frank Thomas rookie in here. Specifically, the Frank Thomas rookie that does not have a name printed on the front down here due to a printing error. That is very rare, and if we find it, you'll never see me again because I'm going to retire to a tropical island. Here we go. Bucky Dent, John Wetland, Wally Backman, Rich Montalone, Jack Clark. We got Jose Rio, Scott Sanderson, Mark Davidson, future star Mark Gardner. I don't really think he did too much. Ron Oster, Steve Searcy, Carlos Quintana, Bill Doran, Jeff Innes, Ken Patterson, Kurt Stillwell, Gerald Young, Dave Valley, Greg Walker, Don Carmen. There's Craig Biggio, second year. Dan Petrie, Melito Perez, Pete Harnish, Tom Henke, Norm Charlton, Art Howe of the Astros, Jeffrey Leonard, Mickey Tettleton, Dave LaPointe, ending with Lee Guterman. And that's 1990 Topps. Thanks for sticking around into extra innings. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.